Hi, my name is Jesse Barcelone, and I'm here to talk to you about CMIT 321, the ethical hacking class, and Project One. So the first thing is that many of the students ask a question and they say, when do I have to do all these quizzes? Well, these are actually not quizzes, but they are answer checkers. There are 10 various categories that we have of basically capture the flag problems. And each of those 10 categories has 10 different questions that get progressively harder as you go from 1 to 10. So the idea is this is related to your first project. Now you can find the project file in the table of contents, and then there's the project template files, and right there you can have it and you can download it. I already downloaded it and opened it. This is the project. So the first thing I'm going to mention that's extremely important is there are no quizzes in this class. Once again, there are no quizzes in this class. There instead are all these items listed in this My Tools quizzes are related to your project. There's Project One, which is done as an individual, and then there's Project Two, which is done as a team. If you have any adversity about group work, don't worry. Everyone does an individual assignment. However, you get to collaborate with other people on a special team that will allow you to help each other and give each other some guidance working on some problems. So I'll talk about that in a minute, but as back for Project One, I'm going to go into week 3, and you will see a capture the flag challenges external learning tool. Again, I'm under week 3. So if you come down here, you can see there are 10 categories, each with 10 different questions. So if I look at category 1, here's question 1, here's question 2. I say, I don't really think I want to look at anything in encoding and encryption. I might want to start with category 2, file analysis. There's other categories. You are basically going to try to attempt to answer any 10 questions. It could be 10 only in the first category. You could pick 1 from each category. You could do 2 from the first 5 category. You have complete flexibility. Now, here's the caveat. You don't get any credit, even if you get all 100 questions right. The idea is we need a write-up here. So we actually would prefer you to just solve 10 questions. And then once you get those 10 questions solved, then if you get all the other things you have to do, like your discussions and your labs done, then if you really still want to go back and look at these challenges, that's fine. But let me show you how this works and what you'll be doing. So I'm going to take a look at the very first challenge in the very first category. It says decode the string to find the flag. So I'm going to copy that right from here, and I'm going to Google, I happen to know that's base 64, and go to a base 64 Decode website. And I'll pick the first thing I see, and I'm going to click that string, and I'm going to click Decode. And there is my answer for that one. Now, if you didn't know it was base 64, maybe you have to do a little research. Part of your reading does say, talk about base 64, your vital source book, so there's that. So I think I have the answer to the first problem. So here's how I'm going to approach this as a student. I will go to My Tools Quizzes, and I will take this quiz. I can take it as many times as I want. There's no penalty. I could guess the first question 10,000 times. It doesn't affect my grade at all. It doesn't even show up in the grade book. The only point in this is for us to check our answers to see, hey, is this the correct thing that I need? And then I can mark this down as, hey, I have one thing done, one answer that's solved, and now I'll continue to work on. So I'm going to go to preview because I'm actually not a student, I'm an instructor. I'll click Start Quiz, and in that first flag button, I'm going to put that flag in. So like I said, no, I'm not going to have any issues getting a 10% if I actually get it right. Otherwise, it would be a 0. I click Submit. It tells me you have warning, you have 9 unanswered questions. That's okay. I only want to check one answer at a time. I click Submit Quiz. And now it's actually going to tell me only if I get it right. It will say 1 out of 1. And it will also tell me that what the answer was that I put in. If I put in UMGC -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would have gotten 0 out of 1, and the answer still will not be displayed. It's only going to give you the answer if you put in the correct answer. So that's the idea. You can keep trying. You have unlimited tries. There's no barrier to you trying over and over again. So some of these different concepts, they're going to be interesting for you to try and look at. There's other categories. The file analysis, that's basically could be something like a file like ipconfig.exe. And you're going to have to figure out how to identify what the file is. And that could involve things like, looking at the file in hex, getting the hash of the file. There's different ways to approach that. Forensics and hard disks could be things like a hard disk with some deleted files, and maybe you use a free tool to recover it. It's usually going to be a pretty small. Could be stuff like registry files, where it wants you to find the install date of Windows. Log analysis could be stuff like web logs, IIS logs, where there's lots of entries. How many times do you see the word Firefox in the log? What version of Firefox was used when this person went on this date and time? Malware analysis and reverse engineering, that tends to have some files that basically are crafted payloads. They're not going to hurt your system. They're just things that have a callback IP and port that's actually a non-routable address. So it's just an idea for you to try to find the beacon point. Those are a little bit more advanced. There are different methods, static and dynamic analysis, that can be used. You might want to skip that category. It just depends on the person. There's going to be people that have experience in some categories, lots of categories, few categories. You're going to find a variety of experiences. Of course, you do get the hands-on lab, so you will get to work with some of this stuff. There's the network captures. That's basically going to be Wireshark. You're going to look for a frame. The FTP password's blue, something like that. It will get progressively harder. Open source intelligence, that's where you're going to go. Find who was the 2021 Super Bowl champ, who was the MVP, some type of question that you need to go to the internet to find something on. Password hashing, that's where you'll be given some type of password hash. I think I can show you an example here. Something like this. There's websites out there that you can go to, like crackstation.net, that allow you to crack password hashes. They'll give you the answer quickly. Some of the passwords are harder to crack. It depends. Some of them are Linux, Windows, sometimes they're Cisco ones. It just depends on what we're offering. Scanning and exploitation, That actually has some different files you can look at to see about some open ports, as well as a virtual machine, which you can download and scan, and then say, answer questions about ports and services. The last category is virtual machines, where you can actually download a virtual machine. You can use VirtualBox, VMware Player, which is free, or you can get VMware Workstation. That's part of your initial discussion. When you get that, you get this virtual machine and you go on there and you find various files on the system. You use your command line, your terminal skills, your GUI searching skills to find various files with various flags. So there's a lot of variety of things you can do. But the main thing is just keep in mind, these, even though I see the word quiz, these are just answer checkers. And this is really nothing more than a way for you to get that project done. So that kind of gives you some guidance about project 1. When you get into project 2, that's going to be, you're all going to be placed into teams. And when you're in groups, teams, each team has 10 different questions in those various categories that I displayed. Each person picks just one problem to solve, and you can work with your teammates to try to help you guide through it. Maybe a teammate says, hey, instead of using Wireshark, you should try to use Network Miner. Or maybe they say, instead of using Nmap, try ZenMap. And it automatically puts all the switches you need. So that's where the collaboration comes in. However, if you have team members that aren't participating, you're not going to be penalized, because you hand in the paper yourself, the project, which you actually can use as a portfolio item, because you're going to use record it. You're going to do some voice narration to get some practice presenting things. And you know, in this day and age, Zoom, Teams, all those tools are really important for the workplace. So overall, we think these should be fun projects, but we did want to give a little bit of guidance and give people some information about how this class works. So once again, there are no quizzes. There is a final exam, but these are just answer checkers to be used. The first 10 are to use for project 1, which is an individual project. The next ones, you actually will probably only have access to your team or groups, and there's 10 problems. Each student picks only one problem, and they solve that, and they do a write-up that will be available in their project 2 folder. So that's the end of this presentation, and thanks for watching.